Etsy news. There's still some worrying bugs going on Etsy, perhaps. There's scandal in the world of wool, in the world of knitting, and how did Black Friday sales go? All that and more in today's Etsy news. So, first things first, there was an error in the past week or so. People weren't able to put their shop into holiday mode or vacation mode, depending on where you're from. This can be a problem for two reasons this time of year. Firstly, people who are busy in their Etsy shops like to use holiday mode, vacation mode, very sensibly to shut off orders for a little while. That's what you've got to do. If you get too busy, you might have to do that. So not being able to set your shop onto holiday mode is an actual problem. It can end up with you overwhelmed with orders and it's not your fault. But the second thing is what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the glitch on Etsy that is potentially causing shops to be knocked out of search, not showing up in search. And people have reported that a fix for that is to put your shop into vacation mode, holiday mode, and then back to live again. And that seems to sort things for a day. So it's possible because lots of people were now doing this in the hopes of catching those sales for the end of the year. Obviously, it was causing too much of a problem, but we've not heard what the issue was, but a few people reported this. Okay, scandal in the knitting world. I was kind of excited. I knew it was going to be fairly rubbish, but Channel 4 in the UK had started a new show, a new competition. It was called Game of Wool to find Britain's best knitter. Now, in the UK, we have a lot of these kind of shows. It started with the Great British Bake Off, which had to be renamed the Great British Baking Show in the US because of whatever. I'll deep dive into that another time if you want. But that was wildly successful, and not only that, but it really popularized baking, cooking, making spectacular cakes. So that had been a great thing, and then there was a jewelry show that was okay, but it didn't do quite so well. We've got the pottery throwdown, which is amazing. The sewing bee, really cool as well. So when they were going to do knitting, I thought this could be good. There's already a template for how you can do these kind of shows to be interesting, but I did think knitting is not really a spectator sport, so it was going to be interesting on telly anyway. But there's been a lot of complaints. First of all, the first episode, the first challenge was a Fair Isle jumper. Now, Fair Isle is a beautiful knitting style of specific to one islands of Scotland, and it's a very traditional protected craft, and it's very clever and skillful and interesting. So basically they did that, but they gave them a ridiculous time limit, so they had to knit in chunky wool or yarn that was not traditional for this, and to do patterns that weren't traditional and stitches that weren't traditional. So if you're doing that, you're kind of missing the actual craft of the craft. It was interesting. They did talk a little bit about Fair Isle, but they misrepresented it really. And it's went on to be some silly things like knitting a deck chair covering. Nobody's got knitting isn't a fabric, isn't a medium that you would use to support someone's entire body. So that seemed stupid, but it was at least fun ish. And then this last week they did some argumami, or the wonderful crocheting. Now, first of all, they're throwing random crochet in when they say they're looking for Britain's best knitter. Knitting and crocheting isn't the same, but it's cool if they just were making it about wool. Really cool. But again, they misrepresented the art of argumami. I'm saying this wrong, most likely, definitely. Because they wanted some food. They wanted argumami in the form of a meal, your favorite meal, but they wanted to use different stitches because it was on texture week. But Argomami is one stitch, just different shaping, and they also wanted it to be a realistic, not cute, which Argomami is cute. So it seemed absolutely stupid. But anyway, it's still cool to see all of that. But one thing that was, I just learned, of course, there's a website selling the stuff. Wool and the Gang, I hadn't heard of them before, sponsoring all the wool and selling the wool or the yarn. £18 for a ball of wool. Interesting. But this does mean that this is why the knitters are limited with what they can knit with. And the other thing is, you can see they're selling kits. This doesn't even seem to be the full jumper. They're selling kits of things that were made in the show. So a kit for $140. Fantastic capitalism. Wonderful. But what is highlighting this to me is that's a kit of the jumper that the judges didn't like. They said it wasn't a good jumper. There's no kit of the winning jumper or sweater, or is it a card? Yes, it's a cardigan. There's no kit of that because that was too clever. They want basic designs that beginners can do that they can sell. So it seems it's a bit crazy, but the whole thing, it's just making knitting again seem trivial and ludicrous. Now, I'm not a knitter. I know plenty of people that are. This show could have been super fun. There could have been like challenges to see who could, new ways of knitting. They could have really dug into the fair isle. You don't have to make the full outfit, but knitting a patch of fair isle or some of the reasons. There's a lot of history behind some of the stitches and the patterns and things. As my mum reminded me, these fishermen's gansies, fishermen's jumpers that you get in the north of Scotland, you can actually tell where a fisherman's come from, the town he's from, or even the family he's from, due to the stitches in the jumper. So there's so much interesting history behind all of these stitches. So there's lots they could have done to make this better, but it really just seems to be a money grab. The things being sold, like that cardigan being sold for, with the kit being sold for $140, £140, not even $140. So they could have done better. I'm sorry that they didn't, but hey, no, it's not going to inspire people to knit. I was going to say it might be inspiring people to knit. I don't think so. Okay, so Etsy has again improved its top tasks. A couple of weeks ago, I let you know that they've doing the top tasks now only show activity from the last 30 days. Etsy used to have a thing of sold out items and expired items, how many you've got to fix. And so yeah, when it was showing from all time, you were seeing something that sold out like 15 years ago. So they sorted that. And now sold out excludes vintage and one of a kind and private listings as well. So Etsy are improving this. I am kind of intrigued how they got this far, why it was launched without this. Someone should have surely seen this, but it's good that they're fixing things anyway. I didn't see any warning of this. If anyone did, a cyber bonus it came up on Cyber Monday, 20% off your order, but only up to $10 off. So yeah, it's interesting how much Etsy wants us to throw down and have money off, but they're only willing to give $10 off for an order. For your whole order, you could be buying in multiple shops and you'll get $10 off. But Etsy, tell us if you're going to do these things, and then we can market them to our own audience if we think it's a good deal. I wish Etsy wouldn't do these as a surprise. It kind of worries me because it has me thinking, oh, did Cyber Week not do that well on Etsy? That's a possibility. Oh, Pantone Colour of the Year. I get a feeling we've got two departments in Pantone when they pick their Colour of the Year. There's the first one that picks the colour, and then they pass it on to the department that writes the story about the colour. And I feel the picking department forgot to pick a colour and just sent the blank sheet down to the telling the story department, because Pantone's colour of the year is Cloud Dancer, a lofty white. And by that they mean it's mainly white, but it's kind of off beige and off white. It's such a nothing colour. Yeah, it's a background colour. That shouldn't be your feature colour of the year. But are we going to see it? Absolutely. Designers are like sheep. They all want to get seen and they all jump onto this colour of the year because Pantone has used a random colour picker to pick something that means nothing, made up a story, so people are going to jump on the trend. Yeah, sure, it's a neutral background. It's a neutral background. Yeah, I think it just shows what a farce this kind of colour of the year is. And there was a website, I think it's colouroftheyear.com, that opened up because it thought the whole colour of the year thing was so stupid and asked the public to vote. And what came out was it was venomous something or other. It was a purpley colour, really nice. So that was that's way better. The people choose purple, but not Etsy, Pantone gives us lofty white Cloud Dancer. We'll have to see what Etsy's colour of the year is. But yeah, you don't need to jump on these trends. The chances of it helping your shop in any way are pretty slim. Yeah, Etsy's still glitching. I mentioned earlier about that glitch that's potentially throwing shops out of search that has been going on for a month now. Now, it is difficult to know because if people's sales are down, they assume it's a glitch. And lots of people's sales are down, but there could be multiple reasons for that. But Etsy in the forums did reply to the initial thread saying that there was an issue. So that's telling me there definitely is an issue. Now, when other people are reaching out to Etsy support, they get conflicting answers. This is a problem with Etsy support, that the support staff just answer randomly. So some people are saying there is a global technical issue, and others saying the problem might be caused by your listings. Have you looked in the handbook? Yeah, so okay, we are not owed search placement. Paying our 20 cents doesn't guarantee us search placement. However, this time of the year, for there to be a glitch or a massive change or whatever else, it's not fair. If people were relying on that income that they've built up a shop, people have built up staff and everything. This does make it more difficult. And I know if you've never done really well, if you're waiting for your big break, it's hard to feel sympathetic. But these people have turned Etsy business into a career, and I'm hearing from lots of people that their sales for this period were down 60-70%. And that is a big blow if you've been doing everything right for the year. And I've always said, that this final period of the year, if you're doing well, you might make more sales than you have in the rest of the year combined. So you sort of start relying on that income. So even if you've only made a couple of sales through the year, you might expect to make a couple of sales in the holiday season. If you've made a couple of thousand, you see where I'm going? So, but if there's a glitch, Etsy really needs to fix this. Now, I know even if 50% of shops weren't showing up in search, there still would be enough that Etsy buyers are still able to buy. But it's not, I'm saying our 20 cents don't guarantee us a position, but they should guarantee us at least a fair chance. And if some people are being not shown at all and others are, that's not a fair chance. Black Friday sales. So Adobe Analytics does a little review every year. They've got panels of millions of people, so they can tell us the best estimate of sales. So it looks like online was up 7.1% year on year, but the discounts were pretty high as well, with electronics peaking at 31% off. Yeah, so here's the lovely little graph. I love that they do this every year, and you can see Thanksgiving Saturday and Sunday are low. The peaks are definitely Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And just from quickly looking at the graphs, I'd say there's a big step change on Black Friday. It took a bigger step year on year than everything else, but everything is up. But that doesn't mean that us little Etsy sellers are seeing it. People are, especially if they're buying electronics, they weren't buying them from my Etsy shop because most of us can't be selling electronics. I did my little deep dive into the Etsy news. I like to see what people are talking about Etsy, and they're talking about the Etsy witch again, of the Etsy buying spells and things on Etsy. Yeah, really interesting. Now, I mentioned this in an Etsy news a few months ago. Selling spells for nasty reasons. Whether you believe this works or not, I still don't think ending people is a good spell to be selling for sure. But they're still talking about Etsy witches and dazed and financial times. And I thought I'd have a wee nosy at in eRank the monthly trends. So the top keywords for November, the 77th top keyword for November, just behind wall decor, was witch, what people are searching for. So that is still trending. Anyway, and also finance is talking about how Etsy's OpenAI ChatGPT partnership could shape marketplace engagement and monetization for investors. So people are still talking about that partnership. So that is potentially a good thing in terms of interest, positive interest. And I never even saw this anywhere till I was looking in the news. But Apple Pay promo offers $15 off a $75 Etsy purchase. So Apple Pay was teaming up with Etsy. Didn't hear about that at all. But that's it for this week, unless I missed some. So let me know in the comments if you've been seeing anything or any of this has impacted you. And yeah, I'll see you next time.